Hey everybody, welcome to another model building workshop. I am Mr. Allen coming to you on behalf of the Community Libraries of Providence, the Smith Hill location, and coming to you from Providence here in my basement workshop. And today we're going to look at the British Special Air Service Jeep. This is an old Tamiya kit, or Tamiya. Never knew how to pronounce that. But anyway, this is one of those old classic kits that's still a lot of fun to put together. So let's have a look. So I'm in the midst of working on this little guy. So it's a little Jeep. It's 35th scale. It's not very big. 35th scale. And what's fun with this kit is the multitude of options that you get with building this. So the Special Air Service was this group of daring British soldiers, and their mission was to penetrate deep behind enemy lines and cause as much havoc as they possibly could. And their leader was David Stirling. And their most famous exploit was an attack on a German airfield in North Africa. We got Sidi Enik or Anish, and it was in July of 1942. And what they did is they attacked one of Rommel's main airfields, well behind enemy lines. And basically, they kind of followed a bomber that was landing. They followed it in, and they just ran down the runway with these Jeeps and just shot up everything, causing a huge mess, taking apart all kinds of aircraft, and then as soon as they hit, they fled. So what you need to do missions like that is some fast, nimble machinery, and a Jeep is ideal for that. But you also need a lot of supplies because you've got to penetrate well beyond the enemy lines. So they would load up these Jeeps with all kinds of gear, and they would custom tweak them for whatever mission they were going to do. So since they're in the desert, you can see here they took some of the grating off of the front of the Jeep to try to improve airflow in the heat of the desert. They would also, still working on this, bear with me, but they'd also have like an air condenser here, so that they would get the water out of the engine, and be able to use that water again, kind of recycling. And they would set these things up with different armament options. In this case, I decided to put, the Browning 50 caliber here. I got a Vickers gun back here. But there's a lot of different ways you can set this thing up. Because they give you, like this here, some twin Vickers guns you could set up. You got another 50 cal here. And it gives you lots and lots of goodies. Lots of stuff to work with. Including captured German equipment. Now you can see all that there. But lots of tarps, ammunition boxes, duffel bag shovels, and you get a crew of 2. Yeah, tons of gear. More here. Like ammo. Discs for the Vickers machine guns, and boxes with them in that, which I'm still painting here. Here we've got one of these sand troughs that you put down to help unditch the vehicle. Shove it under the tire and pull it out of the sand. And I got the steering wheel to put on still, but I want to try to situate the crew just right. So I'm leaving the wheel off till I get the driver and everything all figured out. So I'm starting to work on them here. And it also gives you don't know if you can see that there, but tons and tons and tons of jerry cans, gas cans, etc. Lots of stuff. Because it would be loaded up with fuel and water. You get the crew, like you see at the picture here, which kind of adopted some, local desert head, not hats, I guess you would call them, headgear, for dealing with the desert conditions. So yeah, see, this one's configured with these machine guns in front. Here, the Vickers one in back. There is a way you can put a larger gun in the back on a pole. All sorts of different configurations, and they talk about it here in the instruction book. So, really long story here about the SAS, their raids that they did, and talking about, how they harassed the Germans and the Italians in North Africa, and of course, why the Jeep. So here they show you a couple of different configurations that you can do with it. And, typical Tamiya fashion with their instruction sheets. The assembly is not so bad with this. I know Tamiya has released newer versions of their Jeep, of a Jeep kit. So this is an old one. I think the newer ones are far more detailed than this one is. Which, makes sense. Newer, better molding, right? But yeah, you get a better look at how the crew figures go together there. Let's see if it talks about the different ways you can set up the guns in these things. Because there's several different ways. That's all the gear there. And you get it there. You can see. Different ways to set it up. There's the back here. That gives you quite an array of different layouts. Nice photos. So I know I mentioned somewhere in here how if you wanted to do a mounted gun on the back of the Jeep, there's different ways you can work with the pieces to make that if you want to have one large gun standing in the back there. So this is one of those kits that you can really tweak and do lots of different things. The sky's the limit with this. Just your imagination is really you can come up with all sorts of things with this. So I'm still playing around with mine, trying to figure out a few things. I mean, I've kind of picked out how my ammunition and how the armaments are going to lay out in here. I'm just going to put the ammunition and the fuel drums and stuff and jerry cans in there. Actually, probably not a fuel drum. That might be a little overly ambitious, but it's a matter of painting and putting all of this stuff together. So lots of fun with this guy. Tiny little kit, but lots of fun. And it kind of reminds me of this show I used to watch growing up. Of course, it's in reruns at this point, called The Rat Patrol. But that was a kind of a spin on the SAS, in which we had, in this version, we had the Americans in Jeeps raiding the Germans behind the lines in the desert, which really wasn't quite accurate. And of course, they had a British, advisor that was with them that joined them on missions, which, yeah, right. But it was a fun show and kind of was an interesting look at, the war in the desert, although really not what the Americans did. It was really the British that did this. And the Rat Patrol, I don't know if they were making fun of the, grabbing the name of the desert rats and that. Who knows where the writers kind of got their inspiration for that. But the truth is, the reality of the SAS and what really happened is far more fascinating than anything that Hollywood writers came up with, believe it or not. Again, another fun classic old kit from Tamiya. That staple of Japanese model kits. The old box shows you some of their other kits that they had out at the time, including the American version of the Jeep there. And there you have it. British Special Air Service Jeep. Lots of fun. And that's what a hobby should be, right? Okay. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next episode. See you later. Bye.